Here we are at the fascinating Sochi Autodrom in Russia for what is expected to be a compelling race weekend. Well, it all begins today with practice. This fascinating Hermann Tilke designed track has a number of tight corners and a 180-degree bend. It provides the team with a range of driving challenges. It's an impressive track, certainly from a technical point of view, but we can't call it a classic just yet.
Well, drivers certainly prefer the classic tracks, but there's no denying it's a state-of-the-art circuit, which is going to be a new challenge for the drivers. It's quite technical in places, with 12 right-handers and 6 left-hand corners, and the drivers will need to get up to speed quickly to maximise their chances here.
Today will have even more significance for Daniil Kvyat, getting to drive in front of his home crowd here in Russia.
Absolutely, and what an impressive young talent he is. In the drivers' press conference this weekend, he was talking about what pride he has driving here, and I'm sure he'll be especially keen to get one of his best results of the season.
Hello guys and welcome back to my F1 2015 career mode. We are here for the Russian Grand Prix. It's Daniil Kvyat's home Grand Prix, so we'll be looking to get a good result for him here. Last time out in Japan, just going to give you a couple of seconds just to pause this video and go watch that one if you haven't already done so. Okay, so last time out in Japan, it was sort of another disappointing race. We had the pace to beat everyone but the Mercedes. Unfortunately, we just weren't fast enough to beat either Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg. We had a good scrap with Lewis Hamilton, but then he just drove away from us. So we did finish third, so unfortunately that was points lost to Lewis. But hopefully we can get some good points here in Russia because it is Daniil Kvyat's home Grand Prix, and hopefully we can get the race win in front of the Russian crowd. But without any further ado, let's head over to the practice results and then straight into qualifying.
Daniil Kvyat will be celebrating with the team tonight. It might only be P1 in practice, but it's a good result for the team. Welcome F1 fans, where qualifying will be starting in the next few minutes as the teams prepare to get out on track at the Sochi Autodrom here in Russia. It's really difficult to predict who might come out on top here in Sochi today. I really believe it can be anyone's race this weekend. But am I just sitting on the fence, or do you agree with that?
Well, if you're allowed to sit on the fence, then so am I. To be honest, it's hard to say. This is a new circuit for the teams and drivers. They'll have some data, but it's going to be down to whether they place more emphasis on qualifying performance compared to the long-run pace.
Here we go then, qualifying for the Russian Grand Prix. And as you can see, we are into Q3. Just like always, it's very easy to get into the third part of qualifying. We managed to beat all the other drivers. So now we've just got to try and get onto the front row to maximise our position for tomorrow's race. Let's have a look at the couple of laps that we did manage to put in this qualifying session. Coming into the last couple of corners now to set our first lap here in qualifying. Here we go, round the final corner, under braking, turning in very nicely there, cutting the apex, and it's going to be a 1:39.2. Not too sure how good that lap will be. We're just going to have to wait and see for all the other drivers to set their lap. As per usual, we are the first person to set our lap as we come around this 180-degree corner for our second lap, and what is going to be our final lap here in qualifying. We are a P1 at the moment. As we run it wide there, unfortunately our lap time has been invalidated, so we're just going to have to wait and see and hope that that is good enough to qualify for pole position in the Russian Grand Prix.
That's the end of qualifying, and it's the Russian driver, Daniil Kvyat, that was able to pull out an amazing time to finish top of the timesheets and in P1.
They're going to be unstoppable in the race tomorrow. That's if they can stay 1-2 by the end of the first corner, as there are some fast starters behind them.
So despite only setting one lap here in qualifying, we still managed to get pole position, so we would start on the front row of the grid, and we beat Sebastian Vettel by 0.8 of a second. So that was a really good first lap that we performed in that Q3 session. Sebastian Vettel, he will line up next to us with his teammate Kimi Raikkonen behind us in third. Then it's Nico Rosberg in fourth. Valtteri Bottas is in fifth. Our teammate Daniel Ricciardo in 6th. Felipe Massa is in 7th, and surprise, surprise, Lewis Hamilton is down in 8th position. So he's going to have a very good drive to be able to get some good points on us in the championship. Roman Grosjean will start in 9th, and Max Verstappen rounds out the top 10. So without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the Russian Grand Prix.
Welcome to the eye-catching Russian Grand Prix circuit of Sochi for today's Formula One race. This Hermann Tilke track will provide drivers with a stunning backdrop of the 2014 Winter Olympic Park, but they'll be more interested in their battles out on track. He's riding high after yesterday's incredible qualifying performance. You wouldn't bet against him continuing his run. The impressive Kvyat starts in P1.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
Hoping to repeat his winning performance from the last Grand Prix will be Nico Rosberg. The German stormed home to a great victory, and he'll be looking for more of the same today.
Before his move to Mercedes, Nico Rosberg was always a driver that had a lot of potential. He left Williams because he wanted to drive a car capable of winning Grand Prix, and now he's got that, he's proven he's one of the best drivers out there.
It's race day for the Russian Grand Prix, Daniil Kvyat's home Grand Prix, so we'll be looking to get a good result here. Let's have a look at the race strategy for today's race. It's going to be a two-stop strategy, pitting for the options and then the primes of this 53-lap race. So without any further ado, let's get this race underway. What sort of position can we get? Can we win in front of the home crowd? The lights come on. It's 5 lights, and away we go for the Russian Grand Prix, and off to a terrible start. Sebastian Vettel looks like he's gone for the overtake. Yes, Sebastian Vettel has now taken the lead in towards turn 1. Now we run down towards turn 2. We've got Nico Rosberg on our right. He's going to pin us. We're going to move out ever so slightly, but it looks like Kimi Raikkonen trying to move up the left. He doesn't make it stick, but now coming around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. We've got the move done on Nico Rosberg. He's going to have to settle for 3rd position for now, but now we've got to follow Sebastian Vettel through this 180-degree. Very nice turn 3 now. Very nice and quick through there, and then under braking into this right-hander. This is where we ran wide and lost so much time. We ran wide again, but luckily we haven't got a warning for exceeding track limits this time. So now we come in towards turn 5, right behind Sebastian Vettel as we run in towards turn 6 and 7. We're looking to get an overtake, maybe down the long back straight. So that's probably our best place to get an overtake, because we're now right on Sebastian Vettel's gearbox as we now come into this left-hander. Looking right behind Sebastian Vettel now, so we're going to try and move, hopefully, it down that long back straight. Very nice and tidy through that corner. That sets us very nicely for an overtake down this back straight. It's very dark and miserable at the moment here in Russia, so the rain could be coming. Not too sure about that. Hopefully it clears up and it stays dry, because we're very quick in the dry. Not too sure how we do in the wet. Here we go now up the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Can we get the move stuck? Yes, we have. Into the lead of this Russian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel looks like he's dropped off ever so slightly through that corner as he let us through, and he just gave us the room, so that lost him quite a bit of time. So now we can try and maximise this opportunity and just try and drive away from Sebastian Vettel and get as many points as we possibly can on both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, I believe, is still down in 8th position, so hasn't really been able to make many overtakes in the first couple of corners, and we've set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix because we are the first one to cross the line. So Sebastian Vettel, the gap to him is 1 second at the moment, so a big old gap on the first lap within the first couple of corners, so nothing's happened so far. The skies have cleared up though. It's now blue skies and very sunny as we come to the end of lap 16. This is our scheduled first pit stop as we come into the pits now. Looks like all the other drivers have come into the pits as well as Lewis Hamilton, apart from Lewis Hamilton, as he is in 2nd, and Valtteri Bottas is in 3rd at the moment. So there's been quite a bit of a switch around, but maybe those drivers haven't pitted yet and it might all reshuffle in the next couple of laps. It was a 2.6 second pit stop by the Red Bull boys as we come out the pits. So it looks like we're going to be very, very clear of both Nico Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. Those look like a cluster of cars that were behind us, as it looks like Hamilton and both Valtteri Bottas are in the pits, and now they've been overtaken by Sebastian Vettel. He's in 2nd, Kimi Raikkonen is in 3rd, and then it's Nico Rosberg just behind them in 4th position. So nice little battle for those three going on, which is good news for us as it allows us to drive away while those drivers are battling it out as we come through this very nice 180-degree corner once again. Under braking in towards turn 4, very nice and tidy through there this time, not running it out too wide as we drive down in towards turn 5. Hopefully we get to see what the gap is to both Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen as we drive around that corner. Just look at the top left now. What is the gap to for Sebastian Vettel? It's a 6-second gap, so that is a nice comfortable gap at the moment. Hopefully we can try and increase that just in case we get any penalties in the race. Then we have a bit of a cushion to us as we're coming up to Pastor Maldonado. We had trouble lapping him in Japan as he just blocked the whole track. Will we have trouble again as we go for the overtake around the outside in towards the penultimate corner? And thank you this time, Pastor Maldonado lets us through very easily, and he is not going to be too much trouble. Will we be able to see the gap though to Sebastian Vettel as we come across this start-finish line? Looks like we're going to stay with it. No, we're not, as we cut ahead to lap 26 at the moment. As Nico Hülkenberg, he's coming out of the pit, so hopefully this will be an easy overtake as he's moved over to the left. He's squeezed us all the way to the pit wall, and very lucky not to be involved in a collision there. But Nico Hülkenberg gave us just enough room and we went round the outside and lapped him. So lap 26, still leading this Grand Prix, and by quite a bit as well as we cut ahead to lap 33. running it a little bit wide, getting a warning for exceeding track limits, and now we come down into the pit lane once again for our second stop and our final stop in this Russian Grand Prix. The gap to Lewis Hamilton at the moment is 20 seconds, and he hasn't pitted yet, so a very nice gap there to Lewis Hamilton. Hopefully we can increase that as we come into the pit box, and it's going to be a 2.3 second stop. So that's a very nice pit stop there from the Red Bull boys once again. Now we come out of the pits and hopefully be in front of Hamilton, Raikkonen, Vettel and Rosberg. We want to be ahead of that cluster of cars so we don't really have to battle them. As we're exiting the pit lane now, where are the other drivers? Are they coming across the line? Doesn't look like they've even come across the line. Now they've come across the line. Lewis Hamilton, I believe he is in the pits. And Raikkonen, there you go. So Raikkonen's now up into second place. No, Lewis Hamilton's gone back up into second. So I don't actually think Lewis Hamilton has gone into pits. I believe he is actually racing for track position now. As now Nico Rosberg went for an overtake on Lewis Hamilton. So now Nico Rosberg is up into second place. Lewis Hamilton is down into third. And Kimi Raikkonen, I believe, is in fourth place. So a nice little battle there between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Luckily for us, we're not involved in that and we can just drive away and hopefully get this race win. This race win should be ours unless we make any major mistakes. But let's have a look at the top left corner and see the gap to Nico Rosberg. When's he going to come across that sector line? Not yet. Still hasn't come across that sector line. What is the gap going to be to Nico Rosberg? There it is. It's a 14-second gap to Nico Rosberg. So a big old gap to Nico Rosberg. That is good news for us as we have a very nice, comfortable cushion as we come ahead to lap 48. Coming around the last couple of corners of lap 48 now. No one really around us at the moment. On the mini-map, you can see that we've got Daniil just ahead of us. Is 24-second gap to Nico Rosberg, and it looks like Sebastian Vettel has overtaken Lewis Hamilton. That is good news for us as it allows us to get even more points on Lewis Hamilton in this championship. The gap, I believe, was 39 or 35 going into this race, so hopefully at the moment we can gain 12 or 13 points to him, and that'd be really good news for us as we try and cement and try and challenge for the lead of this championship. As Lewis Hamilton, there we go. So I believe he must have been caught up in an incident. If he's able to set the fastest lap of the race this late on, he must have come into the pits for a new set of tyres. So I believe he must have had an incident. So hopefully he's down even further, maybe in about 6th, 7th position. As we're coming around the last couple of corners now, cutting ahead to the end of lap 51. So this is the same lap, and we've now set the fastest lap of the race because that is what we want. We may be leading the race by a mile, but we still want to have the fastest lap of this race in our home Grand Prix, just to let the Russian fans know that Daniil Kvyat is coming for the win. Nico Rosberg is in second at the moment, with Sebastian Vettel in third. And now we're coming around the last couple of corners to end lap 52. We've got Daniil Ricciardo. He is just ahead of us. Looks like we're going to be lapping our own teammate. That is what you want to see. You want to see yourself lapping your own teammate. It's definitely a good feeling as we're now going to go for a very easy move on Daniil Ricciardo. He's just going to let us through. And now we have lapped Daniil Ricciardo and all the way up into 8th place on the final lap of this Russian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg, he's still in second with Sebastian Vettel in third. Then I believe it's Kimi Raikkonen in fourth. And then I believe it's like Valtteri Bottas and then Lewis Hamilton. But that doesn't matter to us as we're going to come around the last couple of corners to win our third race in this World Championship season. Here we go, round the penultimate corner now. Then it's into the final corner. We're going to win here in front of the Russian fans. What a fantastic result here for Daniil Kvyat.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Today's Grand Prix winner is Daniil Kvyat. What an exceptional drive from this young Russian.
It really was a wonderful performance, and one that the team will be celebrating for some time to come.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
There we go then, we get our third race win in this season. Fantastic news for us winning in front of our home crowd. Nico Rosberg, he finishes in second, so hopefully we'll be able to close up the gap to him in the championship as well, with Sebastian Vettel finishing in third. Kimi Raikkonen, his teammate, finished in fourth, with Lewis Hamilton down in fifth position, so that is quite a few points gained on him. 15 points gained on Lewis Hamilton to try and catch him up in the championship. Valtteri Bottas, he finished in sixth position with Felipe Massa finishing in seventh. Then it was Daniil Ricciardo, our teammate, he finished in eighth with Sergio Perez in ninth, and Roman Grosjean finishing in 10th, getting the final World Championship points here. But let's have a look at how this affects us in the drivers' standings. In the driver's standings, Lewis Hamilton still leads the way, but he has a 20-point gap to Nico Rosberg and only a 24-point gap to us in the championship. So we are definitely coming for him now. We need to still need to get a few wins under our belt in order to catch him up. We're still not quite there. I'd like about a 10-point gap going into the last 2 races. That's what I want, and then we'll be able to challenge for the championship into the final race. But 24 points at the moment, that's still good. It's good news. We're definitely going in the right direction. Hopefully we can catch up the gap even further in USA. But let's have a look at how this affects us in the Constructors' Championship. In the Constructors' Championship, we still remain in 2nd place. Obviously, we're not worrying about Mercedes too much as they are 135 points away from us. And it doesn't seem very likely that we're going to be able to catch them up in the next couple of races. But Ferrari, they are our main challengers for 2nd place, and hopefully we can try and beat them into the last couple of races. The gap at the moment to them is 29 points, but if they get a few good results like they did have today, then it could become less likely that we're going to get this 2nd place, but we're holding on for the time being. Thank you very much for joining me for this Russian Grand Prix. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. If you have, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more F1 content in the future. And I hope to see you next time for the USA Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.